I grew up in Fort Worth and became involved in the drug culture in Fort Worth in my teens, and then in my early 20s discovered heroin, and that was really escalated the situation at that point as far as legal problems and in and out of jail, and because it's an expensive habit. So if you're spending anywhere from $300 to $500 a day every day on heroin, you don't wasn't making that kind of money working. So I remember at one point when I quit my job, I was a nursing student, but quit my job, did not finish nursing school in order to be a full-time criminal so I could make enough money to buy heroin every day. This went on, I went in and out of jail repeatedly, got divorced at 21, had gotten married at 17, got divorced at 21, ran through a number of unsuccessful relationships, which is pretty common in that culture. Had a 2-year state prison sentence, which I, paroled before the whole 2 years. And this was just how my life went, in and out of, confinement situations. And I really just figured I would die like that. I had a number of friends who had died, who had overdosed, and I thought, well, this is just it. This is my life. Of course, the most profound experience I had 3 years before I get clean and sober. I always kid and say I'm on Jesus' special education program, because I'm a slow learner. I had an experience. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm standing out on Hemp Hill, a bad neighborhood in Fort Worth, definitely a drug area. And I felt like I was the only person on the planet. There was nobody walking around. There were no vehicles. And, it felt like Christ had come, everybody had gone, and I was left behind still. And I started to cry at that point. I guess I was having a lucid moment, and I realized how, sad, empty, and pathetic my life was. And at that moment, I felt a hand on my shoulder, like a friend comforting you would put their hand on your shoulder. And it startled me because I was alone, and I turned around very quickly. And what I saw was not the old Victorian house that had been turned into a funeral home, but I saw just the classic outline of Christ in white with the hands out. And then he spoke to me, just, the best way I know to describe it would be like telepathic. It wasn't a booming voice from the sky or anything like that. But he calls me by name. He says, "Kim, I love you. I've always loved you. And all you have to do is take my hand and help other people like you." And it was over. That was it. But I felt like a power surge from the tip of my toes to my hair, like it was standing on end. And then I just dropped on the sidewalk and cried. And I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. I didn't understand what I was supposed to do. I didn't, I'm going, help others like me. I can't even get off the sidewalk here, And after, a few more trips to jail, going to prison, then he put some other people in my life that encouraged me to go to drug treatment here in Abilene at Serenity House. So I come to Abilene for all the wrong reasons, not because I want to stop doing dope, but because I want to get out of town. And really what I want them to teach me is how to do drugs without getting in so much trouble, is what I was looking for. But I showed up at Serenity House, and I learned about the 12 steps and became involved in AA. And I remember about 2 weeks into treatment sitting on the couch at Serenity House, and when I actually made the decision to, okay, I'm gonna work these 12 steps that they're talking about, and I'll try this, and we'll see if this works. And I went into my room and got on my knees to pray. And as I did that, I could feel the presence again. I mean, it was like it was like he was telling me, now you're making the right decision. Now you're starting down the path that you're supposed to be on. And I knew at that moment that I would finish treatment, that I would go back to college, which I did. I wound up graduating from Hardin-Simmons University, and I got my social work license and my chemical dependency license, and I've been went to work at Serenity House in latter part of 90, and since 94, I have been providing chemical dependency treatment in the prison system. And I'm now the program director over a 632-bed adult male offender facility in Breckenridge. And I think I consider myself very fortunate because I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, helping other people like me. I know personally I'm heavily counting on the grace thing. I believe in grace. I mean, that is my only hope. I am so glad it is not a deeds, type of deal where you have to work your way in, because I would be stuck out. We had a 7-year period in there where I was estranged from my family. We had absolutely no communication. And then after I got clean, well, suddenly that's who becomes important, and that's who you want to talk to. And it took several years of working at rebuilding that relationship. But I now have a really good relationship with my dad. He's very proud of me. He's always talking to people about me, and he'll call me just to say he loves me. I've been very fortunate there. I got married in 1995 to Steve Henderson, and it just kind of continues all the things God has done. That's why I say, for me, clearly it is grace, because I in no way earned any of it or deserved it or anything.